Hey, what's going on, everybody? It's your boy Brandon, aka FFCLAY from Transcend Global. Where humanity ends is where divinity begins. I just wanted to jump on real quick, piggyback off a video that I released. I think it was 3 days ago, maybe four. Um, just really talking about how our reality really is plastic and how it really is artificial intelligence, and that it pretty much feeds back to us what we feed it. And once I released that, I myself have been eating from it and been reminded of it, and actually have been getting more downloads regarding it. But if I released it Friday, maybe it was Saturday, I was laying in the bed and I felt a slight I won't say depression, maybe a little discouragement, a slight bit of frustration in the moment in regards to what I did or didn't have in my physical reality at that moment. And I was quickly reminded of the video that I had just released. And I was reminded, and it got me back, snapped me back into alignment just like that. And I just realized that now I understand more what it means to trust the process. It's like once you come from the darkness to the light, or once you get out of ignorance, and now you have a revelation of how the process works and how to work with it. Now all you have to do is continue to work the process because it works. And so that's the thing when the Bible says in Galatians that we will reap if we faint not. It's like once you know the process, all you have to do is to continue to work with it until you see the desired result. Wash, rinse, and repeat. So there's really no room or no reason for discouragement. And I'm like, yeah, granted, we are having a human experience, and sometimes things take longer than is anticipated. Uh, a sense of urgency, something we really want, something we really need. So I mean, we're susceptible to those type of things, and until we continue to master ourselves. And so I make room for that. But even in those times, we have those moments, and the stronger you get, the more you master the process, the briefer I believe those time periods are, and you snap right back. So those times are necessary. They're not to be condemned. It's just, okay, have your moment, allow yourself to feel what it is that you feel, get back on your horse and keep going. And what came to me was that the day that we plant is not the day that we eat. So even if you use agricultural example, you plant the seed that same day, but you don't expect that harvest. It's a time and it's a season for everything. So long as you do what you're supposed to do, you plant the seed, you water it, you allow it the sunlight to do what it does, and you allow the process, you trust the process, and you just get up and you do what you're supposed to do consistently, and you know eventually that what it is that you set out to see when you planted that seed, that you will see it, because the process is the process, and the process works. The only reason that it doesn't work is when we quit or when we fall off from doing what it is that we're supposed to be doing. Like the example that I used in the video, if we're talking about an algorithm, if you and we're talking about a news feed, whether it's IG, Facebook, YouTube, what have you, um, and when you go from one appetite to another, your new, like I said before, your news feed reflects the appetite, or is a composite sketch of who you are at the time. So if you got a lot of ratchetness on your timeline or your news feed, and you just up one day and you just have a come to Jesus moment, a divine revelation, or you're just trying to be a better person. When day one after having that revelation, you go to that feed, your feed is still going to reflect what it was that you previously were fed by. So even when you start inputting new data, it's not going to change overnight. It takes time. There's a lapse in time because we're in this 3D or 4D reality called Earth. And so time is a factor. Time is starting to get smaller and smaller, more accelerated. It's becoming less of a factor. But right now, time is still a factor. So once we apply time to this process and consistently do what it is that we're supposed to do day in and day out, our process, our situation, our reality, our algorithm, our news feed has no choice but to change day in and day out. Just continue to be consistent with what it is that you think, what it is that you feel, and even little small movements. If you continue to do what it is that you would do if you were in the position that you're trying to get to, just take the small steps. It's not about the big steps, but the compound effect and the slight edge let us know that it's the small habitual things that we do day in and day out over a prolonged period of time that will allow us to see the results that it is that we're trying to see. So, to wrap it up, the day that we plant the seed is not the day that we eat the harvest. Continue to input new data every day. Focus on what it is that you see, what it is that you're hearing, more so what you're feeding yourself, and what you're thinking about and how you feel, and take small daily steps. That is key because you can affirm, you can visualize, you can meditate, you can pray, you can do all that, but your brain is not so much convinced as it is than what it is that what it is by what it is that we do. Pardon me. So, like I said, our reality is flexible, it's plastic, it's an algorithm, it's artificial intelligence, it's fed by what it is that we feed it. It's based on habitual human behavior. So continue to be consistent in your outlook, your perception, what it is that you think, what it is you say, mostly how we feel, what it is that we do, and you have no choice but to see what it is that you planted. Until then, holla, peace, shalom, all that good stuff.